My father was a New York City cab driver. He worked 18 hours a day. I don't even know. He was just never home for dinner. There's not a street he doesn't know. He knows which direction they go in. He knows about all the old buildings. If you tell him, oh, the Met, he'll tell you, oh, the old Met or the new Met. Yeah, there's just nothing that he just lived it all. He drove it all. He knows it all.
I met my future father-in-law at the time back in 1990. And I always remember the black trousers, the white shirt, but everyone would wait for him to have dinner. We'd sit around, have some wine, which was actually my first introduction really to having wine around the table on a non-holiday period. And we'd hang out, we'd talk a little bit, and he would always wash his hands and his face. Always remember that.
He wasn't around a lot because he was busy being a family man and figuring out how to earn a living so his family would be okay. That's what he did. To say my dad is a simple man is an understatement. He says if you can't eat it, drink it, or spend it, he don't want it.
For my sweet 16, I told him that he had to dress, nicer than he usually does. So he thought it would be really funny to show up to a very nice restaurant for my party in a old, baggy, giant sweatshirt that is dirty with paint and sweat and dirt.
So this is Tito. In an effort to save $11 over the course of a year, he'll keep the lights down, humidity up. He lives like a mushroom.
The only material thing that we bond over is that we both know that there are 44 extender links on the Western Spur.
So, not fancy at all. Oddly enough, he married probably one of the fanciest women I've ever met in my life.
Mama and I used to always go to tea after I got a good report card, which is kind of funny considering my grandpa uses tea bags more than once.
She always had her nails done and her hair done, and her house was impeccable, and she loved going to the opera and to the theater and out to dinner. And he just went. He smiled and he went. He was happy. That's it.
Tito and I have nothing in common. He loves tools. I don't. He's good with his hands. I'm not. I love shoes. He hates shoes. But with all that, we are a lot alike. He's taught me so much about being a father, being a husband, and just being a good man. And for that, I'm grateful. But like any two people, we don't always agree on things. But one thing I can say is that he's been, in many regards, a pillar of strength for me and for my family. And he's just been a wonderful father-in-law. And I'm so grateful.
He's turning 80. I don't even know what to say with that. You know what that means? That means I'm getting freaking old. That's what that means.
That's good.
My mom taught me, and by extension my children, of the value in marking moments. So we're giving him this watch.
This is a hell of a watch.
It's a Patek Philippe. It's a reference 2428. It dates to the 1940s, and now it's his. It's the Dauphine hands. It's distinctive and unique, but not bizarre. It's classic mid-20th century Patek.
So I personally don't wear a watch. I frankly don't get the whole thing. I also don't understand why you guys like my brother, but...
When I got into watches 5 years ago, right before even I started Theo and Harris, my poppy, who knows virtually nothing about watches, demonstrated a real desire to bond over them. He knew they were important to me, and he wanted to share that.
Welcome to In the Metal. I am Christian from Theo and Harris, and introduce yourself.
And I'm Christian's grandfather, very proud to be his grandfather.
I forgot his name. We just had Sunday dinner. We had a little bit of pasta, a little bit of penne.
Okay,
And it was good, right?
very good, delicious.
So I told him, Pops, come outside. I got to talk about watches for a little while. So if you wouldn't mind too terribly listening to me kind of explain the watches that we have.
I would enjoy every minute of it.
Let's do it.
I might learn something
Yeah.
and speak to people about it.
Let's do it.
And the only watch story or tidbit of information that he had was that Patek Philippe was the best brand ever. He had seen them on the wrists of the executives he drove for decades. It was a brand that, while discreet and not as, in your face as Rolex, was, at least to him, true luxury, true refinement and class. So for me, this gift is hardly about its material value. It's not a, retirement pat on the back. Here you go, you earned this great thing. It's a physical representation of the effort he has put into building a beautiful family, whether that is working 18, 19 hours a day for decades, or almost grasping at straws to bond with me over a passion that I had.
So he better pull weeds with this watch and garden with this watch and drive anybody he needs to with this watch, because if not, I'm gonna kill him.
He'll wear it every day, if not because he wants to, but because he has to. That means that I'll have 365 times, he's 80, so 40 years of memories with this watch. 11 o'clock espressos, crabbing down the Jersey Shore, movie nights, watching John Wayne.
I think it's a little on the crazy side, considering the kind of guy that he is.
This is the first Patek anyone in my family has ever owned. And while it sounds crazy, I think it makes the most sense that it's going to him.
The truth about this is that there is no freaking way he wants a Patek Philippe. He's gonna freak out. He'll be pissed when he gets this, but therein lies the joy.
And it's totally representative of our collective relationship with him. It's this opulent, unnecessary thing that's given to this man who will never appreciate it for its material value, but will for the sentiment. We had his caseback engraved with his cab medallion number, kind of a nod to the full circle. And I think that he's the only person in the entire world whose Patek Philippe shares space with something so oxymoronic. No one that has chipped in for this watch in my family has ever purchased anything for themselves that is as expensive as this watch, because none of us have arrived yet. But whether he likes it or not, he has.
It's a birthday hat. When you get to 80, you get these hats.
T-minus like 3 minutes. I'm all nervous. I'm really excited.
We all got you a gift, and I know you always say if you can't, eat it, drink it, or spend it, you don't want it. I'm going to give you a hint. You cannot eat, drink, or spend this. Give me a call. We all agree. Everyone knows you. You don't even like air conditioning. None of the last nice things. But I think that we all agree that everyone deserves at least one thing that is just really good, right? So we bought you something that you can enjoy for
So Rolly, Christian, Anna,
everybody.
and I.
That's right. Not everybody.
It's from the immediate family,
Yes.
right?
Read it.
Read the watch. He's reading the
Read the.
I'm reading it. What's the name
Oh,
of it?
fuck up the feet there.
Philippe.
Patek Philippe.
Turn it around.
Turn it around. Now read the inscription.
It's upside down. Upside down.
Two. Oh, 2E82.
Isn't that good?
What is that though?
That's my medallion number.
That's his medallion.
Thank you very, very much.
Happy birthday.
Happy 80!
Okay. On, kick him or something. That's because, really? Oh boy.
See, this is what I wanted though.
Ready?
And she's the only one that provided.
Here we go. Ready? We got it.
And
Scene 2, take 2.
that was good.
He doesn't like the things. The only material thing that we bond over
is that we both
is that we
know.
both know, motherfucker.
Yes. We
Oh, I forgot what it's called.
Spur.
The Western Spur. It's where all those like mountains are, but
Yeah.
over the waters.
Yeah.
I am not unsure.
No, I don't disagree with you, what you just said. So.
I'm not uncertain. That's when they know they have a tip. That's when they have a tip. I'm not.
Oh,
You watch.
He's the kind of guy that, you know, got home from work at 11, poured himself, you know, a beer, had a steak alone, and went to sleep, only to wake up at 5 o'clock again.
Yes, we all get tired. We all have to stop once in a while, take a break, rest, start all over again. But that's how life goes on.